So it is important in times like these to have a distraction. And that's why I want to personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively.
The times where people ignore the red flags and say, let's just keep pushing, those are the times where you fail. The majority of things that we're buying are created by men. You always learn more from your failures than you do your successes.
Blake Lively is in a total meltdown after Chelsea Handler made fun of her in a big way on live TV. During the 2000 at the Critics' Choice Awards, Chelsea Handler didn't hold back when addressing Blake Lively's legal battle, calling it a silly distraction and even thanking her for the laughs. The entire Hollywood crowd joined in, making it clear that Blake's attempt to portray herself as a victim had completely backfired. It seems there won't be a sequel. This really does end with us. Many people used to believe that Blake Lively saw herself as Hollywood royalty. She likely thought everyone felt sorry for her and supported her narrative, but that illusion shattered the moment Chelsea Handler took the stage. It was like a public takedown. Handler targeted both Blake and Justin Baldoni in front of some of the biggest names in the industry. And it's safe to say Blake was not enjoying the moment. Typically, the Critics' Choice Awards are known for being polite, filled with predictable speeches and scripted moments. But this time, Handler flipped the script, turning the event into a direct hit on Blake Lively's entire PR fiasco. She did not pull any punches. She walked on stage like she was carrying a flamethrower and directed it straight at Blake. The most telling part? Hollywood did not rush to Blake's defense. Instead, they laughed, genuinely, not out of shock or discomfort, but with real amusement. This was Hollywood's way of signaling that they were done with Blake's sob story. The audience's reaction spoke volumes, showing just how little support she had left. Handler's closing lines were especially brutal, making it clear that the film industry had moved on from Blake's lawsuit. The media has lost interest, and even Blake's supposed friends in Hollywood are now laughing at her. It's a stark contrast to how she likely envisioned this playing out. Blake Lively probably entered December 2024 expecting to secure a major victory. In her mind, she may have seen herself as a fearless female icon, standing for justice in a dramatic courtroom battle. But reality has played out quite differently, and it's clear that the industry no longer sees her as the hero of this story.
She tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it. I want all the roles for me and only me. I want full control because I am a controlling bully. That Justin Baldoni, ultimately, by the time they got to the premiere, was mandated by Blake Lively to spend the night in the basement away from his co-stars and didn't even get to see the final cut of his own movie because Blake Lively insisted that she be the one to approve it.
But that was clearly intentional. Hollywood despises scandals that could damage its reputation. If Taylor Swift wasn't willing to stand up for Blake, it meant she was no longer worth saving. Swift's team reportedly became concerned when they heard that Baldoni might call her as a witness. The moment Swift realized this was a real legal battle and not just Hollywood gossip, she distanced herself. Faster than Blake's credibility crumbled. Swift is an incredibly smart individual who always protects her image, but Blake's troubles don't stop with her. Ryan Reynolds, often seen as Hollywood's golden boy, has also been dragged into this scandal, and things aren't looking good for him. Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit names Reynolds as a key player in Blake's manipulative scheme. Rumors suggest that Ryan attempted to take over Baldoni's movie, rewriting scenes and bringing in his own editor to alter the film. This wasn't just a case of a husband defending his wife. He actively tried to sabotage the movie for his own benefit. When Baldoni refused to let him interfere, Blake suddenly accused Baldoni of harassment. It was a desperate move. So, who is telling the truth? Is Baldoni some manipulative figure who sabotaged his own film, or is Blake a demanding actress who plays the victim when things don't go her way? Hollywood never forgets a scandal, and this one has turned into a massive PR disaster. Even Ryan Reynolds appears to be gradually distancing himself from Blake. Chelsea Handler's jokes didn't just target Blake, she included Ryan as well. She hinted that there would be no sequel, and she wasn't just referring to the movie. It could also signal trouble for their careers. Blake deserves this level of scrutiny because accountability is not the same as bullying. If Reynolds hoped that his signature Deadpool humor would shield him from backlash, he might need to rethink that strategy. funny tweets and charming interviews won't erase the fact that he is now entangled in a major Hollywood S.
And that's
Movie's
part
now
of
in
the
the
point
hole.
that Justin's team is making in kind of complying with what they're viewing as threats made on her behalf against Justin, is like, well, there's this financial consequence to everything in addition to the strike consequences too, right? So they filmed May to June, then shut down for the strike, and then they were down until January. But I think that the strike lifted in November, but then she had all these return to work provisions.
The real question now is, how long before Ryan abandons Blake completely? Big stars in Hollywood often prioritize their own careers over their partners when scandals hit. Blake might believe that she and Ryan are an unstoppable team, but if the tide continues to turn against her, Ryan will likely put himself first. Chelsea Handler knew exactly what she was doing when she included Reynolds in her jokes. This isn't just about Blake's image crumbling, it's about whether Ryan can escape the fallout. At this point, there's no easy way out. Either Reynolds stays by Blake's side and risks his own reputation, or he does what many spouses in Hollywood do during a scandal, slowly distance himself until the storm passes. No matter how this plays out, Blake has already lost. She has lost the respect of the industry, her once sterling reputation, and now, potentially, her husband's support. Chelsea Handler's jokes weren't just comedy, they were a clear signal that Hollywood is done pretending Blake is an innocent victim. No one believes her anymore. Her career, her public image, and everything she worked to build are effectively over. Blake probably thought she had an impenetrable support system with Taylor Swift as her best friend. She may have believed she could make accusations, twist the truth, and count on Taylor to always stand by her. But it seems even Taylor doesn't want to go down with a sinking ship. Blake and Taylor were once inseparable, vacationing together, sharing social media tributes, and celebrating their friendship publicly. But the biggest question remains. When Blake needed Taylor the most, where was she? Nowhere to be found. Taylor Swift has distanced herself from Blake because she felt used. After Blake filed her lawsuit against Baldoni in December 2024, Taylor initially showed small signs of support, liking social media posts and subtly signaling encouragement. But everything changed in January 2025 when Baldoni presented his evidence. The moment the truth started to unravel, Taylor went silent. She wanted no part of this disaster, and that says everything.
Blake says a conversation that she heard had taken place with Steve Sarowitz. Steve Sarowitz is the head of Wayfair Studios. He is the co-founder of Wayfair Studios along with Justin. And she says in this lawsuit that, is it interesting? She says, this is what I heard, he said, but it's presented as a quote in the lawsuit. She says that Steve said, I will protect the studio like Israel protected itself from Hamas.
And 9 other plaintiffs, including his publicists, have brought a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times, essentially alleging them of libel and false light invasion of privacy. So Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, he told BBC's partner CBS that the newspaper aided and abetted a smear campaign designed to revitalise Lively's flank.
If Blake were truly suffering, her best friend would have spoken out, right? But Swift fell silent once Baldoni's evidence surfaced.
That she became uncomfortable with Justin Baldoni yesterday while she was filming. She states that Mr. Baldoni put his bare hands on her backside and said that he was trying to help her with her posture. Complainant immediately voiced her displeasure with being touched on an intimate part of her body, and Mr. Baldoni responded with, "It's fine. I'm totally hot for my
complaint." Blake changed what she alleges about what happened while filming the slow dance scene, now that the footage has been released for everyone to see. So what they're saying is, now that, Justin Baldoni shared the truth of what it looks like, they're no longer making the same claims. Previously, they said Miss Lively was filming a slow dance scene for a montage in which no sound was recorded. Of course, Justin proved there was sound. Mr. Baldoni chose to let the camera roll and have them perform the scene, but did not act in character as Ryle. Instead, he spoke to Miss Lively out of character as
talking too much. He's threatening to post stuff on public sites. So what I think is this looks good for Baldoni, right? He's like, we want to make it all public. And sometimes lawyers can do this knowing that they can't actually do what they say they're going to.